Hi, I'm Victor. I'm 20 years old. I grew up in Chico in a family of 6. I'm the youngest of 4, and I've always been kind of the black sheep in my family. My family has always generally enjoyed the same things, and I've just enjoyed completely different other things. One of the biggest things in my family, my brothers, all my cousins played sports, and I didn't. So I felt a little unseen and unimportant because I didn't do what was expected in my family. My family focused mostly on my brother's practices, games, and tournaments, so I got used to being on my own. Since I didn't do any sports, I had more free time, and I put most of my time into my academics, and my grades got better because of that. My family took notice, and they were proud of me, but because of that, it seemed like all the academic pressure was put on me, and most of the academic wasn't on my brothers because they were playing sports and they had more important things to do. Going into middle school, I wasn't really expecting to notice signs of depression or anxiety. Though at the time, I didn't really have a full understanding of what it was, but I knew something was wrong. I felt unmotivated and I just didn't want to do any of my work, so my grades suffered because of that. And I put it on myself that I needed to get good grades because that's what my parents expected from me. And because I wasn't reaching those grades, I felt worthless in my family. Freshman year, I didn't have a lot of friends. All my friends from middle school ended up going to PV and I went to Chico High. So I had, I think, 2 friends freshman year, and some days they wouldn't be there, so I would just be alone. Being alone at school just made me feel even more unimportant because I didn't feel seen at home, and then at school I didn't have anyone to be with. And I was in a really dark spot, and I didn't see myself getting out of it. But by some miracle, I met some incredible friends, and they made me feel seen and appreciated, and I felt like I belonged somewhere, and I felt happy. It wouldn't last forever. That same year, my parents would end up splitting up. My family during that time was a mess. Every day we would argue with each other. It would be little fights to big fights. There'd be days where I wouldn't talk to one of my brothers at all. I would just avoid them because of a fight that we were in. I would go on walks by myself at night and think to myself about what was going on, and I would just get so mad that I would punch the ground, and then eventually I would just start punching a tree. It started getting bad. I started getting bruises on my hands, and I would not be able to close my hands or grip anything because of how hard I would be punching a tree. But I finally went and talked to my best friend, and he had convinced me to ask for help. I never wanted to ask for help. I didn't want to be a problem for anyone. I thought I could just keep it to myself and everyone could go on living their lives and I would just live mine. Once I went to my parents and told them I needed to talk to you guys, I was terrified because I didn't know how they would react or respond because no one in my family had ever talked about themselves in this way. But once I told them, they were supportive. They told me to tell them more about what I was feeling and what kind of help that I wanted to get. This was the first time I had ever talked to my parents about this, and it felt good. For the next 2 years, I would be going to therapy and talking to someone to get help. It started slow at first, and I thought to myself that I had made a mistake. I remember taking antidepressants and hoping that they would help me, but they didn't. They would just made me feel numb and worse. So I decided to get off of them, and I found more healthy ways to express myself. But after that, I've started feeling better, and it felt like I was just taking a weight off my back every single day, and I was starting to feel like myself again. Since then, I've been happy. I have a great group of friends that I can lean on anytime. My family and I are closer than we were before, and we talk more than we did. I get the opportunity to work at Butte County Behavioral Health to help middle schoolers with the same challenges that they're going through. Because I know what it's like to not want to ask for help and I know it's terrifying and we make all these excuses on why we don't want to do it, but once we do, you definitely don't take those steps alone.